All right, at this time, I'd like to call the Physical Service Committee meeting to order. Can I have the roll call, please?
Counselor Burge.
Here.
Counselor Benucci.
Here.
Counselor Walker.
Here.
Counselor Gozek.
Here. I'd like to have a motion to approve the minutes. Held March 18, 2024 meeting. Counselor Benucci, Counselor Gozick.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Benucci.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozek.
Yes.
See no old business, move on to communication. Number one, the zoning and planning office has received a request for use of public space from the Oswego Rental Properties LLC, owner of commercial property located at 119 West 4th Street, in order to have a curb cut. Anybody here like to speak on this? Go ahead, Counselor.
So I just spoke with the owner of this property, and it just so happens to be the property just south of me. So right now, there's currently a driveway of 7 feet wide on the south side of the house, and that's not enough for too much to really fit there. The cars barely fit, so he's looking to do a driveway on the north side. So this is basically an approval for a curb cut to put that driveway in. So I hope I can get the council approval on this, because spoke with the owner, and I'm all for it, so I hope you guys can support it. Thanks.
Thank you, Counselor Venucci. Anybody else? Can I have a motion? Counselor Venucci, Counselor Gozick?
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Benucci.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozek.
Yes.
Number two, City Engineer Jeff Hinleiter has received a request from Market House Oswego LLC, owner of a commercial property located at 1 West Bridge Street, for the use of a public space in order to install a transformer.
Good evening.
Good evening.
You usually don't see me in this capacity. I'm not asking for money, so everybody relax. This is actually a pretty easy one. Mr. Alberts, who's with us tonight, is investing, as we all know, into the Market House, and part of that is a new electrical service. And in order to get that new electrical service in, they need a new transformer. And right-of-way is really tight down there, and trying to figure out a place for this transformer to live. And so I met him and his design team and National Grid on site, and we identified in a turnaround area in the city parking lot is actually a really good location for this transformer. There are not significant utilities that are in the area. There's some underground conduits for electricity that they would have to move, which they understand that. They would have to do some curb modifications, and have asked if we have some spare granite curb that we can supply, that they'll gladly install it. And so I'm asking for a favorable approval to allow them to use this space for their transformer. It'll save cost by that they won't have to run primary, the three-phase power long distance. It'll come off the pole, which is right there on Water Street, right to this transformer, and it's really a good solution for them. It also keeps it away from their property, because otherwise it would end up back in their back patio area, which we all know if we're out by the river and we're having an event or something, that we don't want to be sitting next to the hum of a transformer in those events. So I, again, hope that you'll support this and approve it.
Does anybody else like to speak on the matter? Do we have a motion? Counselor Gozick, Counselor Walker?
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Benucci.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozek.
Yes.
Number three, the Office of Economic Development has received a request from Michael Merritt in order to host the St. Mary Bazaar at St. Mary's Church parking lot on July 19th through the 20th, 2024, from 3:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. Anybody here that would like to speak on that? This has been an event that's been part of Oswego for quite a long time. I used to live in the area. A lot of kids, a lot of families all attend all 3 days. It's gotten quite smaller. I would encourage everybody to attend and support the church. They do a great job, great music. I've always had a real good time there. Anybody else like to have a motion? Counselor Venucci, Counselor Walker.
Counselor Burge.
Yes.
Counselor Benucci.
Yes.
Counselor Walker.
Yes.
Counselor Gozek.
Yes.
Number four, the Office of Economic Development has received a request from the Oswego City County Youth Bureau in order to host the Santa Express Jingle and Mingle on Saturday, December 14th, 2024, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. Do we have anybody here who wants to speak on it? I'd like to have a motion, please. Counselor Vernucci, Counselor Gozick.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Benucci?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Gozick?
Yes.
Motion to adjourn, please. Counselor Walker, Counselor Gozick.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Benucci?
Yes.
Counselor Walker?
Yes.
Counselor Gozick?
Yes.
This time, I'd like to call to order the Administrative Services Committee meeting.
Counselor Plunkett?
Here.
Counselor Burridge?
Here.
Counselor Allen?
He's excused.
Counselor Benucci?
Here.
Counselor Walker?
Here. Could I have a motion to approve the minutes of the meeting held on March 18th, 2024? Counselor Vanucci, Counselor Walton.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Benucci?
Yes.
Counselor Walton?
Yes.
Is there any old business? Let's move on to communication. Number one, the Office of Community Development requests that the mayor be authorized to enter into a renewal agreement with Step One Creative for website maintenance. Anyone here to speak? Hey, Maddie.
Hi, Maddie Pete from Economic Development. We're just requesting authorization for the mayor to sign a contract with Step One Creative to do our website maintenance until March of 2025. The budget is already allocated in our budget to pay for this, so that's all we're requesting.
Any questions for Ms. Pete? Can we get a motion, please? Counselor Walton, Counselor Burridge?
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Benucci?
Yes.
Counselor Walton?
Yes.
Item 2 under communication, Caroline Anderson, Director of Animal Control, requests permission to send 3 staff members to Webster, New York from May 1st, May 2nd, 2024 for training. Hi, Carrie.
Hi, good evening. So this is an annual dog control educational seminar that we would just like to send a couple of our newer staff, and my deputy would be going as well to make sure that we're up to date on the latest and greatest. It's within driving distance, so they wouldn't be spending the night, and the money's available in our budget. It's only a $100 registration fee for each person, and they're gonna just drive there and back on the 1st and on the 2nd.
Any questions for Ms. Anderson? Can I get a motion, please? Counselor Vanucci, Counselor Walton.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Benucci?
Yes.
Counselor Walton?
Yes.
Thanks, Gary. Item 3 under communication, City Clerk Mark Tesoriero requests authorization for the City Chamberlain to complete 2 transfer funds from the City Clerk's contracted services account and the personal contingent account to the clerk's personal services account in the total amount of $6,000 to cover the costs of a temporary intern to continue the Vital Records Preservation Project.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, Mr. Castor.
Greg Castor, Deputy City Clerk here today. We're just asking for 2 small transfers to continue to fund our intern to help with the digitalization project we've been working on for the last little while at least. This transfer will help fund the rest of the intern for the time she's with us for this year.
Any questions? Can I get a motion, please? Counselor Walton, Counselor Vanucci.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Benucci?
Yes.
Counselor Walton?
Yes.
Thank you, Greg. Item number 4, Information Security Officer Steve Coffey requests authorization for the City Chamberlain to complete a budget amendment to the Computer Contracted Services account in the amount of $8,023.32 to cover the costs of employee security testing. Mr. Coffey?
Counselors, I realized that I sent an email to you midday today, so there wasn't a lot in your packet to begin with. So any questions that you guys may or may not have, I'll try to answer as best I can regarding this.
Any questions? Concerns? Okay. Anybody? Can I get a motion, please? Counselor Vanucci, Counselor Burridge.
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Benucci?
Yes.
Counselor Walton?
Yes.
Item 5 on the agenda, Craig Rebior, Commissioner of Public Works, Parks and Recreation, requests authorization for the mayor to award bids for miscellaneous electrical services to contractors. This is a rescind and replace. Commissioner?
Good evening. I made an error. Here a few weeks ago, we awarded this bid to Rombo Electric, who was the low bidder. Rombo is still the low bidder and will remain on the contract. However, as pointed out by one of the other contractors who bid, the method of award in the bid is a letter of intent to award shall be made to each responsive and responsible bidder for the purpose of locking in the bid prices. The City of Oswego reserves the right to make multiple awards to responsive and responsible bidders meeting the specifications. In the event the award is made to multiple vendors, the low vendor will be asked first to quote the job. If that vendor cannot perform the work for any reason, the city reserves the right to request a quote from the next lowest awarded bidder. If the folks at Rombo can't do the work for whatever reason, this gives us the ability to go to the next lowest bidder. If they can't, we go to the next lowest bidder. All the prices still apply. They are all based on prevailing wage. So rescind the Rombo and award it to all bidders. Any questions?
Questions? Can I get a motion, please? Counselor Walton, Counselor Burridge?
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Benucci?
Yes.
Counselor Walton?
Yes.
Item 6 under communication, City Attorney Kevin Caracoli requests the Common Council's favorable consideration for approving a request by Michael Porter to acquire a parcel of land owned by the city adjacent to his property located along East Seneca Street. Mr. City Attorney?
Mr. Chairman, good evening, everyone. Normally, agenda items 6 and 7 might be topics that we would discuss in an executive session. They both fit in many respects, but executive sessions are discretionary. I'm not recommending that, and frankly, over the last few weeks with the revaluation, citywide reassessment project, and the news that is generated, and these are both, items 6 and 7 are related to real property. I thought in the spirit of transparency we would just lay it out here in public. So Mr. Porter is the owner of property at 35 East Seneca Street. He's owned that for several years now. I believe 1997 or thereabouts, mid-90s at least. That's where he has his contracting business. It's a dead-end street, as many are familiar with. Beyond the dead-end street is a strip of land that is owned by the city of Oswego. In fact, it's comprised of the old Conrail railroad bed. And as you know, if you know your railroad history, that railroad bed actually goes east and west. And a strip of it goes down along, basically in between where the Behavioral Health Center is and the fire department on the east side and Mr. Porter's business along that line. So he is in the process of moving his residence into the city of Oswego and wanted to attach a residence to his existing building, and has worked with some architects and surveyors to determine what his space needs would be for land. He needs about 36 feet as it goes east to west. His building and off the building line to the property line is about 90 feet. I think I provided a sketch of that in your packets. That's what he's looking for. Now, the question is, what can the city do? The city has the absolute right to sell property that it owns as long as it's declared excessive property. In other words, you don't need it for any particular public purpose. So that's really the first determination you have to make. Then the second determination you have to make is what is the value, because you can't just give land away. You have the right to sell it, but you can't just give it away. You have to sell it for fair market value. How do you determine fair market value? Well, you go out and either you get an appraisal, you work with a realtor to come up with what's called a comparative market analysis. you check with your city assessor, you try to get a fair value, which is essentially what a person that has no restrictions is willing to pay for the property, and what an owner with no restrictions is willing to sell the property for. That's, in essence, what fair market value means. So this is roughly 3,200 square feet. It's pretty small, 36 feet by 90 feet. I asked Mr. Porter if he could provide us with an offer. He backed it up with a comparative market analysis by a local realtor. There is a kind of a high and a low to that evaluation. The low price is anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000. The high price could be up as high as $22,000. Median price is $16,000. There's additional price of $7,000, which is on the low end as well. I'll just read the summary. The full parcel and this is the property, 33 East Seneca Street, if it were a usable city lot, would have a value of about $15,000. The portion in question, 36 feet by 90 feet, would make up about half of the entire lot. This result in that parcel having a value of $7,500 if it were usable, because nothing could ever be built so close to the bike trail, and the lot really can't be easily accessible from the street. I suggest that the value of the 36 by 90 foot parcel has a real value of about between $4,000 and $5,000. So Mr. Porter offered $7,500. I consulted with Mr. Hill, who took a look at this. I've certainly been a real estate attorney for a number of years. Many of you have bought and sold properties. I think that the price of $7,500 is certainly a fair price. It's a defensible price. I think we can, frankly, do a little bit better than that. It'd be my recommendation that we propose $10,000 for the sale of this price. That would, in effect, be a counter to Mr. Porter's proposal. But ultimately, it's up to you to decide. So I know I've talked for a little bit. I'm happy to answer any questions. Let me just be clear what his purpose is in doing this. This is not just a land grab. I may have mentioned this, but he's looking to build like a single-family dwelling attached to his current business. So he's going to be moving into the city, which adds another point. Right now, it's tax-exempt property. The city owns it. You get no taxes off of it. Once there's a structure built on it, it's attached to his existing building, it will generate some tax. Not a ton of tax, but it's certainly going to be more than nothing. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'll open it up for any questions that anybody has.
Questions from Mr. City Attorney? Okay, can I get a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor Vernucci?
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Vernucci?
Yes.
Counselor Walton?
Yes. Just, if I could have a second. When would be a good time to approach the $10,000 and from the $7,500?
Yeah, so this will ultimately, I did not have a resolution contained in the packet. I'll prepare that resolution. I'll speak to Mr. Porter as well in the interim, unless he, has an issue with our counter proposal. The resolution that I intend to offer up for next Monday will have a sale price of $10,000.
Thank you, sir.
Also, let me just, I apologize. One other important aspect of this is that if for some reason the property were not built on, this is not something that we would just want to give up. So the resolution that I will be proposing will have what's called a reverter clause in it, stating that if the property is not built on as intended with a dwelling within the next 12 months, that the property would revert back to the city of Oswego. So that will be part of the resolution as well. Thank you.
Very good. Item 7 under communication, City Attorney Kevin Caracoli requests authorization for the mayor to enter into a joint defense agreement with the Oswego City School District regarding litigation about a proposed property assessment. Mr. City Attorney?
Thank you. You may have recalled when we entered into a joint defense agreement with the county, the school district, and the city for the defense of the Oswego Steam Station. This was done because the property had a significant tax impact, and the school district generally has a rule of thumb that if the tax impact to the school budget could have an impact of $100,000 or more, they like to participate in reviews of tax assessment cases. They're called tax certiorari proceedings. They are actions that are brought in state Supreme Court. They are and can be complex litigation that you ultimately need expert testimony to prove your side of the case. Those experts come in the form of appraisers, and both sides will present essentially dueling appraisals as to what the value of the property might be. So we did that last year or within the last 2 years for the Oswego Steam Station, which is under litigation. There's another property that is under litigation at this point in time, and that's the Oswego Plaza properties. On either side of the highway, it's a company called Oswego Development, and Oswego Development owns the two plazas. We used to affectionately refer to one as the J.C. Penney Plaza. They're no longer. The other one is the Price Chopper Plaza. The company's filed lawsuits on both of those. Those have been in existence, those lawsuits, for about 3 years now. But the school district is finally jumping into the lawsuit, and they want to aggressively defend it because, in their analysis, it could impact school taxes by upwards of $100,000 or more if the property owner were successful in their legal challenge. The good news for the city of Oswego and its taxpayers are that the school district is willing to share in the cost of the appraisal. And in fact, they're proposing to chip in 55% of that cost. So the school district would pay 55%, the city would be responsible for 45%. The county generally never participates in these lawsuits, and so they haven't been asked, nor have they offered to participate in this particular lawsuit, as opposed to the one at the steam station, because the impact there could be significant for all three taxpayers. But in any event, the proposal here is that the city enter into a joint defense agreement with the city school district, splitting the cost of an appraisal 55% to 45%. Now, I don't know the cost, and that's probably the most obvious question. Well, what's it going to cost us? We're still seeking quotes from qualified appraisers to come up with that, and we're working with the school district. So this is truly a joint effort. The school district is going to be bringing this to their school board, I believe, at the next meeting, whenever that might be, to get a similar consent from their board. So what I'm seeking tonight is authorization to enter into that joint defense agreement. I will update the council when we have proposals that we can consider and put an actual dollar figure to. But this is something I'm certainly recommending. Again, I've talked to Assessor Hill, he supports it, certainly the mayor supports it, and I'm asking for your support. And happy to answer any questions.
So one question, just based on what we have on our data here, is I just want to confirm that there hasn't been an actual hiring of any company to do the appraisal yet.
No one has been hired. I believe there are proposals out and under consideration by both the school district and the city. Whoever we come up with will be a single vendor, and we'll split those costs, as I mentioned, 55 to 45.
Okay. We had one on here, so I just want to make sure it wasn't on there.
I don't believe that there's been a proposal, but I don't believe there's been any type of a contract.
Okay.
Any other questions? Can I get a motion, please? Counselor Burridge, Counselor Walton?
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Vanucci?
Yes.
Counselor Walton?
Yes.
Thank you. And for 6 and 7, I'll provide resolutions for next week.
Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much. Thanks. Anything else? Can I get a motion to adjourn, please? Counselor Walton, Counselor Vanucci?
Counselor Plunkett?
Yes.
Counselor Burridge?
Yes.
Counselor Vanucci?
Yes.
Counselor Walton?
Yes.